infernal toda la noche, la ventolera, eso ha sido tremendo. Va a tratar de recuperarnos, ¿eh? Va a tardar un poco.
Prácticamente fue una cosa devastadora. Nosotros estamos haciendo lo posible por recuperar lo poquito que tenemos y luchando por sacando toda la cosa de la casa. Fue una cosa muy fuerte, un ciclón, esto fue un monstruo.
The southwestern end of the island, particularly for the parishes of St. Elizabeth, Hanover, it is serious damage. And in some instances, total devastation. It is a challenge, obviously. You really don't want to see your country going through this. But the Jamaican people are highly resilient, strong people, and we will recover from this and recover even stronger.
Or the road cleared.
Kalala Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, the Lord hath a mighty and a strong one. The Lord hath a mighty and strong one. And when it comes to Hurricane Melissa, it is the worst storm to ever hit Jamaica, with winds of 298 kilometers an hour, 185 miles per hour. And Hurricane Melissa's strength and slow pace became the #1 destructive storm to ever hit Jamaica since Hurricane Gilbert in 1988. And when it comes to Hurricane Gilbert, it made landfall in Jamaica on September 12, 1988 as a Category 4 hurricane with 130 mile per hour winds. But when it comes to Hurricane Melissa, it has surpassed Hurricane Gilbert and has now become the #1 destructive storm to ever hit Jamaica. Now when it comes to Haiti, more than 25 people were killed when a river burst its banks in the Petit Goave. And the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, even controls the issues of death, according to the scripture of Psalm 68 and 20. And when it comes to the scriptures, it speaks of these catastrophic and destroying storms. With that being said, let's go over to Isaiah 28 and 2. Here we have that scripture of Isaiah 28 and 2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, and that is exactly what Melissa is, a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Right, the Lord has cast down the storm with his mighty hand. The word hurricane in the Hebrew is awarkain or urkan. It's called huracan in Spanish, which is similar to the Hebrew word of awarkain. And it was the Lord's mighty hand that brought this powerful storm of Category 5 to the island of Jamaica. And the etymology of tempest means an intense windstorm, violent strong wind accompanied by rain, snow, hail, etc. And the reason that these storms keep coming is due to the wickedness and idolatry. And those storms take the same path as those slave ships. But the scriptures have also said that thou shalt be visited of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Let's go over to that scripture as well. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And the etymology of the word visit means to examine and afflict. And all over the earth you are seeing various plagues of judgment coming upon all the nations of the world. The Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai of hosts, visits the earth with thunder, with earthquakes, with great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. All these are plagues. According to 2 Ezra 15:5 and 6. It is the Lord, Yahweh Yahushai, that is visiting the earth by way of disastrous calamities due to the wickedness that has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And the etymology of the word visit means to visit, inspect, examine, and afflict. Right, the Lord is now examining and afflicting further many of the islands with storm and tempest, as in the case of Hurricane Melissa. What you are seeing is a hurricane of judgment. And the so-called Jamaicans are of the tribe of Benjamin, and those of Haiti are of the tribe of Levi. The truth of the real Israelites have been whitewashed all throughout history and has been covered up through archaeology, science, schools, politics, news networks, and other sources, etc. But now we know who we are. The Cubans are of Manasseh, and Puerto Ricans are of Ephraim, Parayam. Now, tempest, according to Lexicon Strong's H5591, that's pronounced Sa'er, and a second reading, Sa'ara, means a hurricane. Right, the Lord has cast down with his hand a mighty and strong hurricane, you see? So these destructive hurricanes of judgment are also being sent due to the idolatry. Now, when it comes to the judgment of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, it begins at the house of the Most High. The house of the Most High is in reference to the Israelites. Now, when it comes to the Lord, he is merciful to those who obey and follow his righteous ways. But the Lord shall begin at the house of the Most High. Let's begin in that scripture. Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? You see? And the Lord, Yahweh Yahushai, wants to give Israel an expected good end, according to the scripture of Jeremiah 29:11. The scriptures have said, it is better to obey than sacrifice. To obey is better than sacrifice, according to the scripture of 1 Samuel 15:22. But in not obeying, harmful and destructive calamities shall come and will come. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 40:9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. Right. The scripture of 2 Ezra 16 and 19 says, Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and distress are sent as scourges for amendment. And scourge means causing great suffering to. Here we have Ecclesiasticus of Sirach 40 and verse 10. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. Now, hurricanes like Maria, Fiona, Ian, Irma, Ernesto, Gilbert, Maria, in which it struck the island of Puerto Rico. Those are storms of calamity and of misery. There's a lot of idolatry in the islands. And when it comes to these storms, they have caused great distress, sudden damage, and disasters. Much damage. And we all know about the great flood of Noah's time. A great flood came upon the people in ancient times. And in these modern times, we are seeing destructive floods and power outages from these destructive hurricanes. There's nothing new under the sun. We have back then, you have here now, but only this time, instead of a flood of water, it's going to be a flood of fire. The second death. The word hurricane in Hebrew is awarkain. Awarkain. Spanish is called huracán, which is similar to the Hebrew word of awarkain. And these things that are happening throughout the earth are judgments of visitation brought by the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The Lord Yahweh and Yahushai is visiting the world with many calamities. The definition of the word calamity is defined as an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, a disaster. And the scripture of Isaiah 45 and 7 does say, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. It is the Lord that's bringing many plagues of judgment upon the world. But with that being said, Kaulalao Malak Yahweh Wa Yahushai Bahashem Racha Kudash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel. Blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah, Shalom.